Hello, welcome back to Learn Oikonomia. Today we are going to look onto a very important topic, that is financial dualism in economics. So we have always been telling about the dualistic character of the economy. I have already done a very detailed video on the dualistic character of the economy. So if you have not watched that video, you can go and watch it, where you will be getting an overall understanding regarding the dualistic character of the economy. And in this session, we are looking specifically onto the financial dualism part in economics. So let's deal with that right now. Moving on to the idea of financial dualism, we are referring to a situation where there are two different and coexisting financial sectors within a single economy. So the entire financial sector is actually divided into two subsectors, where we do have a modern financial sector and a traditional financial sector. So coming to modern financial sector, this would be a bit formal, and coming to traditional financial sector, this would be informal. So this is the difference. So what you have is, you will be having a formal modern financial sector which would be very well organized. Coming to the traditional informal sector, this will be something unorganized. So this is how you find the difference between these two sectors that we have in the economy. So we are considering financial dualism part, and this financial dualism as an economic theory has been propounded by very important and famous person, Hella Mint. So this person was actually giving the idea of financial dualism in economics, and he says that financial dualism would be rising as a result of the division of money market in the form of organized and unorganized sectors. So this, as per this Hella Mint, it is seen in LDCs, that is least developed countries or least developed economies. Let's take to look on to more details. So let me tell you about the formal financial sector in a detail manner. I was telling that in a least developed economy, there would be some subdivisions that you will be having in the financial sector, formal and informal financial sectors, right? In that, the formal financial sector will be consisting of some well regulated and organized financial institutions. So you will be having commercial banks that would be moving and functioning as per the regulations of the central bank of that nation. So you will be having some investment related banks, some stock exchanges, and you do have a monitoring authority there as well. And definitely there will be some financial intermediaries. So all these people are having some registration. So whether it is all about banks, or whether it is all about stock exchanges or financial intermediaries, we are talking about registered people or registered entities, finance related entities, who would be having their own functionings in the financial market. So these kind of institutions or intermediaries or people, they would be operating within a legal and regulatory framework. Why? Because there is that much strict rules and norms that we have in a formal financial system. So rules and regulations are very important, and these entities or institutions would be abiding by the rules and regulation, and they would be again closely monitored by some regulatory institution. There would be some monitoring regulatory institutions like RBI, as what we have in India, and or SEBI, as what we have in India again. So the financial sector, the formal financial sector, is that means which is well regulated and well monitored. Coming to informal financial sector, what happens in this area? So this is completely outside the regulatory framework, and for the very same reason we do not have any strict rules. No rules, no regulation, no guidelines, no monitoring authority. That is how it happens. So it does include informal money lenders. There would be some savings group, there would be some microfinance institutions which is completely informal. I am not talking about some microfinance institutions which act and go by rules and regulations. Here I am talking about some microfinance institutions which is completely taking its own stand without having any control by any monitoring authority. Such kind of stance is taken by several microfinance institutions, and these are also functioning in our economy. So these are non-regulated, these are not regulated by any financial entities, and for the very same reason there won't be any guidelines given to these entities to function as per the rules and guidelines. So there comes the problems. Even though these informal financial sector would be acting as a source of finance, especially in some marginalized or remote areas, it can cause problems, it can cause complications. Definitely these kind of informal financial sector would be existing due to the factors such as high cost, lack of collateral, or inadequate credit history of a person that would be exempting him or excluding him from getting a formal credit. So what will happen if you go to bank to get a loan? The bank will be asking for collateral, right? So if you are a landless person, if you are not possessing any kind of assets, how would you give up collateral to the bank? How can you pledge your collateral to the bank? It is not possible, and that means you won't be able to get a loan from bank. So this makes you, or this will be compelling you to approach some informal financial money lender, and informal financial money lender would definitely charge you a high rate of interest to compensate for the collateral aspect, because you are not giving any collateral to this informal money lender. So he will be charging you a high interest rate, and that might end up in problems in the future. So especially this kind of things happens to farmers and all, especially when farming activities would involve a lot much of money, and also it requires more monsoon, because farming itself is identified to be a gamble of monsoon. So what happens if there is a crop failure? Such things would be again creating issues in the informal financial sector kind of operations. Now, so what I was telling here is that informal kind of financial sector would be arising due to several factors which are operating in our economy. It will be created as a result of inequality in the system. Economic disparities would be there. Definitely there would be some structural limitations, rule based barriers, like what we could have in the name of collateral. So these kind of aspects, along with some cultural social norms, which too would be, when acting as barriers, would compel some people to go for informal money lenders to get some financial assistance for their requirement. But even though this kind of financial system, informal money lenders or informal kind of financial system arise due to several factors, it will definitely persist in different forms. Mostly it is highly exploitative. Sometimes it would become less exploitative. Anyway, it would be much more exploitative compared to what we have in the case of formal kind of financial setting. So lack of financial infrastructure, inclusive policies, etc. by the government too will be compelling people to approach informal money lenders for some kind of assistance. So we require some policies in these areas so as to make the system much more inclusive. Why this is because even though we do have many programs to promote financial inclusion, definitely this has opened several bank accounts in India too many bank accounts have been opened in India as a result of financial inclusion programs by the government. But that doesn't mean that we are fully inclusive as far as our financial situation is concerned. This is not a total financial inclusion that we are right now having in India. Still, that we have much to go. So this is something that we have to understand. So we could find that financial dualism would be providing some kind of inclusion to an extent. This kind of dualistic character of the economy would be enabling people to have some kind of financial inclusion just by making them connected with the informal money lender. So if you have some informal credit societies or informal microfinance institutions, just informal setup, if you have something like that, what you do is that you will go to that institution and you will take some kind of financial assistance. So in that sense, you are getting included in the financial setup. So we are talking about an opportunity that will be open in front of those people who were actually excluded from the formal financial sector. So in that sense, informal financial sector is good, but that doesn't mean that informal financial sector is good always. Definitely it comes with many costs. So we require protection of people who are there in the informal financial sector. It should be made transparent. It should ensure that there is stability as well as some kind of sustainability aspect is coming in. Then only we can have an overall development and efficiency in our financial system. Otherwise, it will be all about problems in the financial setup of the country. So it should be the role and responsibility of the government to ensure that there exists no problems for the people who are in the informal financial setup. Otherwise, what happens is that these people would be suffering from exploitation from the crooked money lenders who are every time looking on to reap profit even at the cost of the life of others. So effort should be requiring to promote something called financial inclusion. We require more financial services. We should require more financial instruments so as to enable that even the people who are poor, even the people who are marginalized, even the people who are downtrodden are getting some kind of financial assistance from the formal setup. So we require some proper regulatory framework. We need to ensure that the informal institution, if it is functioning in the economy, it is functioning in a free and fair manner with some regulations. It's not like some strict regulations as what we could have in the formal setup, but at least some little like regulations should be there for informal institutions so as to ensure that these institutions are operating without exploitation. So this is still the financial dualism is actually still identified to be an evolving area in the study of economics, and we do have various theories in the arena of financial dualism that will be explaining the causes, the implications, etc. of financial dualism. So there is too much to discuss actually related to this topic. We will be covering such kind of things in our upcoming videos. So that's it. Thank you for watching. You can like, share and subscribe to this channel for more videos. You can also join our free Telegram community. I'll be providing the link of the same in the description box. Also, you can download the Learn Oikonomia app, for which also I'll be providing the link in the description box. That's it. Thank you.